Hi, welcome to Be Joyful 24/7. Finally, the sun's out. It's been such bad weather the last few weeks, and I've been meaning to do another sort of like a garden update tour video to show you how things are looking in August. But honestly, the rain has been relentless, and every time I wanted to film, it would either rain or it was so cloudy. But the sun is finally out today, and I just thought I'm going to try and film and show you how things are looking from where it was last time I showed you, how things have progressed, and what sort of vegetables are growing at the moment. So let's go around and take a look at the garden. So like before, I'll start from the patio door. So start from here and I'll show you how things are looking. So my roses are still here on either side. The only difference is you can see that all these little plant pots that I used to have lined up on the whole steps have all disappeared now. This is Munstead wood, by the way. It's sadly been discontinued. It's a David Austin rose. This is actually the third flush of this. It's been amazing. The scent is really, really gorgeous. And another David Austin rose, Benjamin Britten, and my charming piano. Another David Austin rose called Queen of Sweden. So I've got my roses on either side, still doing really well. And at the moment, for colour, all my delphiniums, and you may have seen lots of Shasta daisies last time, they were all finished, but I still have a really, really unbelievable amount of colour in the garden. And it's from all the other plants that have started to grow. One of them is my dahlias. They are absolutely stunning. So I've got a yellow one here. And like I said, I've cut back all my Shasta daisies, and I've got more buds now coming from the bottom again. I've got some sunflowers. This one is in bud, but you can see the infrared at the back. And again, I've got some roses still. If you remember last time, I told you that I've cut back my delphinium, but I'm still getting a few odd flushes of flowers. I've got so many bees and hoverflies at the moment. You can see them in the background. I get them all the time. Oh, can you see this? This is a rose called Lover's Meeting, and the bees absolutely love it. And more roses here, and I've got some rudbeckias as well that's starting to flower, and more dahlias, which again you can see so many bees buzzing around. I've got some zinnias, and this is how it's looking. So obviously I've taken all the pots from here, but I still have loads of pots here, and these are all my roses that I have rooted them. Last time I showed you, they were tiny. You can see how much growth has happened since then. Got loads of them, by the way. I have lots of jasmine plants as well that I've rooted, ready to be sold on Facebook Marketplace or to giving it to friends. So let's start again from the arch here. This is pink piano, by the way, again in full blooms. And the grapes have done really well. I've been tying them back, and they still keep growing so much, if you can see that. And you know the grapes that we saw last time, it's a bit of progress there. It will still be like a few more weeks before it's ready. My busy lizzies on either side in pots are doing. This is dianthus, by the way. And let's go to this side first. And I've had to repot all my roses, but let's go to the vegetables, because I'm pretty sure that's something you'll be interested in. So in this bed here, you know the cauliflowers, they're all ready now. I'm actually going to film a recipe as well, hopefully today or tomorrow, using these cauliflowers. I have the cabbage. There is a bit of slug damage, but it's all right. It's almost ready. Have a few more, and I've got loads of cabbages on another bed as well, so that's fine. Sometimes you have to give a few to the pests as well. And all my beetroots are starting to become ready as well. I might have to use them in a recipe as well pretty soon, I think. I had to line up a few more pots of tomato plants that originally was planning to sell on Facebook Marketplace, but it didn't sell. And then I just thought I may as well repot it and leave them here. Even if I have only just a few tomatoes, it's still some bit of harvest, and I can still use it anyway, so that's absolutely fine. And I'm going to show you, look at that. Look at that dahlia. Isn't that beautiful? This is one of those dinner plate dahlias, so they're a bit bigger. And then I have my pink hibiscus over here. And I just wanted to show you this as well. This is a gladioli, but can you see what a lovely color this is? Sort of like a red with a bit of a white fringe. It's really beautiful. And I've got loads of asters. Asters are fantastic animals. You can get them in lots of different colors. So I grew them all again from seeds. Everything is grown from seeds or bulbs, you know, in my garden. And this one is a white one, and you can see some purple ones at the back as well. They are amazing little plants if you're interested. And again, let me just focus on that sunflower. That one is, I think it's an infrared or black magic, one of them, can't remember now. So let's go back to the second bed. You can see this bed is so different from last time. My sweet corns are glorious. So all of these corn, they're not ready. They're a long way from ready. You know when they're ready, when this tassel sort of thing here sort of like turns brown and completely dies back. That's when you know they're ready. You may have seen from my recipe videos, but I've got loads of dwarf French beans here. You can see the yellow ones. It's absolutely covered. I think I might have to do another picking today. I've been freezing them as well, honestly. I've had so much. I've also got these Indian hyacinth beans that I showed you last time. It's pretty hard to get into this jungle growth. Can you see that? This is called hyacinth beans, and we've got loads of flowers. I've got about 3 plants in this bed here, and they're all covered in those, so that's really good. I'll be able to harvest them soon. And then on this last bed on this side, of course, I still have my brassicas as well. And you can see my calabrese broccoli over here. I've been harvesting. So like this one, I've harvested the middle one. And you can see now it's putting like 2 side shoots. And they're producing some broccoli as well. That's really good. Don't know whether you remember this here. I told you about how I changed the water feature into like a planter. It's looking a bit sad now because the flowers are coming to the end, and also it's been a bit dry. I need to water and it might perk up. But the petunias have been so wonderful. So are my godaceas. But look at these ones. These are called teddy bear sunflower. They're called teddy bear because they're like literally fluffy. I'm glad I changed this into a planter because I do love this. And obviously from my recipe videos, you may have seen them in my recipe videos. Look at this for French beans. It's like a washing line of beans. Loads of them. Like I said, I've been freezing them as well. And all my purple beans as well. You can see them, hopefully, everywhere inside. It's absolutely covered in beans everywhere. And I've been harvesting my cucumbers. The last time I showed you, we didn't have lots of cucumbers. I've been harvesting them. You can see from the bottom, there were loads of them I had already harvested, and you can see one there is now. You may think it's small, but it only grows about that big and about that thick, because these are supposed to be a mini variety that's like a snacking one. It's called mini munch for that reason. So they don't grow like your massive cucumbers that you get from supermarkets. This is supposed to be a mini variety that you can eat like a snack. So you can see there are still loads of young cucumbers there, and like I said, I have been harvesting. And I also started another variety a little bit late, so they're not ready, but they're there. And over here, originally I was planning to put some carrots, but then I got delayed with my main crop potatoes. They were all chitted and I didn't have much compost, and I wasn't bothered to start them in pots. So I planted them everywhere here, and you can see they're starting to come out. Now these are the potatoes I'm hoping I'll be able to use during Christmas for like roast potatoes. We'll see. That's the plan anyway, so I've started them, and this is where here. I've also planted a few odd beetroots that I had in this space. And let's go over here. So next to the lady's statue on the other side, don't know whether you remember the last time I showed you, I told you that I have planted a few more peas here as well for like salad purposes, for pea shoots. But then I stopped harvesting and it has grown massively and it's got loads of peas. I just thought, I may as well get some pea harvest from this. This is the bitter gourd or the bitter melon that I showed you last time. It was like, I think it was a plant about that height, maybe a meter high. It has grown immensely. The only disappointing thing is though, I am getting fruits. Don't know whether I can show you, but yeah, but they're just not ripening that well. I don't know. Can you see that there? So it's starting off really well, but it's not maturing. And I think the weather this year has a big role to play in this. I think it's because of that. We didn't have that much sunshine this year, and it's been rain after rain after rain. And obviously with this being an Indian, like an exotic plant, it hasn't really helped the situation. This is why you're better off growing things like this undercover, like in a polytunnel or a greenhouse. And obviously I don't have that luxury, so I have to take risks. But I'm going to let it grow and do its thing, and hopefully even if I can get like a few of them in the next few weeks, that's absolutely fine by me. This one is the climbing hyacinth bean. It hasn't started yet, but the last time, like I showed you, it was very, very tiny. I don't know whether you remember, I told you about mice eating all my beans, and I had only one plant that survived. And it was tiny the last time you saw, but it has grown a lot. Well, fingers crossed I will get some hyacinth beans, because last time I think I was harvesting my hyacinth beans still in November, so fingers crossed. And obviously I've got more asters. Here I showed you some white and purple last time. These are the same ones but in pink. And my jasmine obviously has started taking over this pergola, and it's been really good. And I have my gourd again. This is the bottle gourd that I showed you last time. Again, same issue. It is not helping with the fruiting situation at the moment. Then coming back onto this other side, if you remember, I had two long beds, and things have changed in this bed especially. If you remember, this bed used to have all of my peas. I literally took all my peas down yesterday because it was coming to the end and it had lots of mildew. I've already frozen a lot of harvest. I've been cooking as well, so I thought it's about time that I take them and bin them. So I binned all of that, but instead what I've done now is planted my sprouts ready for Christmas again. I've got 3 sprout plants, and I have also planted a lot of sprouting broccoli. These are the broccoli plants. These are here. So these won't crop until next spring, if that makes sense. So I also have a few more that I need to actually plant here in the gap. I was just doing this job yesterday, and I have also managed to weed everywhere in the garden yesterday. Honestly, it took me all day yesterday to pull all the weeds and get rid of everything and make it look a little bit cleaner. So that's what's happening in this bed. And then in this long bed again, we still got more onions If you've seen my recipe videos, you may have seen that I've harvested all my onions from the other side and I've been using them. But I've got more onions now growing that'll be ready in a few weeks. And I've got all my cabbages here. So cabbages, can you see that it's sort of like this? That means it's not ready. I'll show you one that is getting better and almost ready. Even this, I would leave it a bit longer. Can you see how hard it is? So this would now, I would leave it even longer for like a couple more weeks, and then you'll be able to harvest. And this one is called a greyhound cabbage. It's got cabbages all along this bed. Some anemones, Japanese anemones from actually my neighbor, but it started self-seeding in my garden as well. And those rudbeckias look really lovely, don't they? And there you go. Lots of sunflowers and some nasturtiums that self-seeded itself. Got my Eden rose here. And we're sort of like doing a full circle now. So let me come out of here to the other side and I'll show you. There are more dahlias. So this one, I showed you some yellow ones before, the small ones. I've got some pink ones here. Again, the bees absolutely love my flowers. My cosmos has been also really, really beautiful. These one are white ones. The last time I showed you, I don't know whether you remember, they were like tiny. I think it was this pot that I showed you. It's like about that high. And I showed you how it would turn up. And this is how it is looking now. Can you see it? It's gorgeous. Oh, this is another variety of sunflower. Looks a little bit like the teddy bear sunflower, but it's a different variety. Can you see that? It's really lovely. And my hydrangeas on this side. This one is called Candy Rock. Isn't it gorgeous? It's absolutely wonderful color. Almost, it starts with sort of like a greening purpley color and then goes pink. It starts actually green and then stands like that and then goes like that. This gladioli actually is a white one. I showed you some like bicolored one before. And this one is also really great for flower arrangements. So this one is the hot biscuit amaranthus. This one is called pygmy torch. And it's really gorgeous. Even the leaves look absolutely stunning, don't they? It looks stunning in a display, a floral arrangement of some sort. And obviously I've still got more raspberries growing, but all my blueberries have now finished. I've just got a few odd ones, but the last time I showed you, you may have seen so many blueberries. My apples are coming along really nicely. So, oh, and this was an old wheelbarrow that I had. I just sewed wildflower seed packet, throw them in there. And I've had all these, don't even know what they are. They're all wildflowers, that's all I know. But the bees and hoverflies have been living there. I think this one is called cornflower. I know that one. But I don't know what this caterpillar-like thing is. They're all just wildflower seeds. And it's brought a bit of color in here. And also, like I said, it's been amazing for the wildlife. And my pears are almost ready. I think I have a few up there as well. There you go. Pears are almost ready for harvest. And these are all my potatoes. If you remember last time, outside on the side of the house I showed you, and I had all of these potatoes that were growing, their second earlies, all of them being now cut back, and I put them in a dry place. So, and I've stacked them up. You can see how many pots and pots and pots. It's even at the back, everywhere. This is how I store my potatoes, because this way, whenever I need some potatoes, all I have to do is dig up some. And then there you go. That's how I like to keep them. So that way I don't have to harvest everything at the same time. Can you imagine if I just harvested all of these pots? I'll have far too many potatoes at the same time. So that's what I do. I've already bought my compost ready for all the roses that I've bought. So this is how the side is looking, you can see. There's so much activity going on here as well. So if you remember, I had all my potatoes in pots here lined up on this side. Obviously all my potatoes are ready now, so they've all been put in the greenhouse. I have now started with lots of, so these were all my raspberry plants that had self-seeded in the tub. So I picked them up and I've made so many plants here. So I have all my sun-sensitive plants over here. So this is my climbing Malabar spinach. Last time you saw they were like tiny. I think I need to start making some harvest actually. My okra or lady's finger is not doing really well, and I think it's the weather to blame. But I've got loads of tomatoes here, lots and lots of chili plants all along. I've got so many different varieties of chilies, by the way, and peppers. So they're all different. Like that one is a jalapeno. That one is a sweet Amy. This one is sweet Amy. Oh, by the way, the same is happening here with my bitter melon. Just like I showed you at the back, they are fruiting, but it's not getting any big and it keeps turning yellow. Can you see? I genuinely do think it's because of the weather. Can't do anything about it, I'm afraid. Same with my gourd as well, which is so unfortunate, but that's how gardening is. Sometimes you have success, sometimes you have failures. And this one is a different chili pepper, you can see. And I have some, like, you know, the peppers that you buy. What do you call it? Those bell peppers. It's called capsicum in India as well. And it's called California Wonder. So got all my tomatoes are coming along really well. So you can see in the background, it's got plenty of tomatoes actually. Might have to harvest a few because I've just noticed that they're all dropping in the pots. I don't know whether you can see the far end there. And same again, I've got my hyacinth beans doing really well. It's not a climber, this one, so this one is like a dwarf variety, and this is the first year that I'm growing and I'm very happy with it. I might be growing this every year, I think. And my aubergines are looking great. Don't know whether you can see it. There you go. I've got loads of flowers and loads of them cropping. Might have to use them in a recipe soon. So I've got loads of them. I've got lots of plants all the way. They're actually doing quite well. Sorry about the traffic noise. We are at the front and the side of the garden, so I can't do anything about it. Like I say, my tomatoes are starting to just drop because they're all ready for harvest. I do need to come outside and pick some, I think. So this is how the side garden is looking. So we've come to the front of the house now. Last time there was a car parked here and I couldn't show you much, but something else that I have done, and I'm quite proud of myself actually, is this driveway was unfinished and we had to sack the guy who did it. And this week I worked on it single-handedly and I've managed to finish it. It's not a professional finish, but at least I wouldn't have to weed constantly. So everything's done. And the plants that I've had in these sort of like wall planters have been doing really well. They are coming to the end though, I have to say, because of the relentless rain, like I've said. But I also planted teddy bear sunflowers as well in these, and they are doing really well. So all my wall planters have been non-stop flowering. I had to say that they have been amazing. Put a lot of smile on everyone's face. Everybody who's walked past my house has been commenting on how amazing the gardens looked this year. And I don't know whether you can remember last time I showed you, these were all very tiny plants. So these are the mop head geraniums and the lobelias. Obviously everything has been started from seed, so it's really looking good. All my roses had a bit of black spots, so I had to take the leaves off. Again, all my wall planters have done really well. This one's called Fragrant Cloud. It's a Tanteb rose. And all my roses have been flowering really well, which is obviously all along the edge, you may remember. Something I did this time is I've rearranged the pots a bit different. Let me just come this side and show you. They were all grouped on one corner there, but instead what I have done is I've sort of like moved them in little groups of clusters, so I can still walk around, but you can still see all the flowers and enjoy them. So all my peonies had finished flowering, so I put them all in a group of pots here. Can't do anything about it because they still need to be here, and I can't cut them back yet. But I've just moved them sort of like in a cluster of its own. Obviously, again, more sunflower, teddy bear sunflowers, and my zinnias. I've planted some pampas grass, I don't know whether you remember, in 2 different colors. I've got more rose plants mixed up. Oh, that one is called a Baroness Rothschild. It's one of the old-fashioned roses. Doesn't that look pretty? And got more petunias and lots of bedding plants here. And this is the front bed where we have actual soil. So you can see there are so many dahlias as well. Look at that red one. Isn't that pretty? And some yellow ones and some pink ones. Got some cosmos in a different color. This is a bi-colored one. A more white cosmos and some marigolds and rudbeckias. And obviously my yellow climbing rose in the background there. Still have a few Shasta daisies flowering at the back there. This one I've cut them all back. You can see there. I've got more pom-pom dahlias here. I put them like into little groups and they're all different colors. So this one is like a stripy one. Got some pink, orange, white, you name it. And then I've got all these ones as well. These are called chillies. And they're all in different, can you see the leaves are amazing, aren't they? They're even starting to flower now. Obviously these have been started from seeds as well. There are like different colors and textures and it's really nice. I just sort of like put them in group here. So I like to walk around and enjoy them still and appreciate them a bit better, because when you group everything in one corner, sometimes you can't see them that much. And I really like the setup how I've done now. And obviously I'm flaunting my driveway as well that I've done myself. It took me a couple of days. These stones were incredibly heavy, but I managed to finish it. And my roses, this one is called Pascali. And I think that one is Sunblessed. My Nostalgia. This one is an old-fashioned rose called Rose Drescht. This one is a Tanteb rose called Proper Job. And obviously my wall planters are all doing really well. They are coming to the end, but I do have some pansies that I might be planting soon. So we've come to the back of the garden again. I thought I'll finish. I'll do my outro here on the sunny day here. And it's really, really lovely today. You can see all the flowers in its glory. My garden is my safe space. I think whenever I feel a bit down, if I come here, it really makes me feel happy. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video again. Showed you I do need to do some harvesting, I think, and make some recipe videos as well, because I didn't realize how many vegetables are actually ready and waiting to be harvested. So I do need to make a few recipe videos as well. I hope you've been enjoying that as well. I'll see you again soon, hopefully maybe in September towards the end of the season, to show you how things sort of like die back. Just sort of like the sad time for me, but that's how garden goes anyway. So I'll see you again in another video. Bye.